Today's I can statement is I can model sums and differences of decimals. Today we're going to be using hundreds grids to help us model how to add and subtract decimals. Alright, so how can you use grids to add decimals? Here to the left we have a table that we have with some different data for us. So we have the device and then the monthly cost. So a DVD player costs 40 cents. A microwave oven costs $3.57. A ceiling light costs 89 cents. And a dishwasher costs 85 cents to use. So we need to use the table to the left to find the total monthly cost of the dishwasher and of the DVD player. So our dishwasher is 85 cents a month. So we're going to use the hundreds grid to add 85 cents to 40 cents, because that's how much it costs a month for the DVD player. So we're going to use this grid or these two grids to add these numbers together. So I'm going to warn you now, I'm not the best at coloring in the lines on a computer, so you're going to have to bear with me here. Alright, so we're going to use pink to represent the 85 cents that it costs for us to use a dishwasher a month. Each grid has 100 squares in it. So 10 squares going down and 10 squares going across. So when I'm coloring in 85 squares, I know that I can automatically color in 8 lines. Because if there are 10 squares going down, 8 times 10 is 80. So if I color in, that's my third line, my fourth line. I told you I'd be bad at coloring these in straight. My fifth line, my 6, 7, 8. So that brings me to 80 cents. If I count by tens, I can double check my work. I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 colored in. So I need to get the 5 more cents colored in here. So I'm going to color in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more squares. And that brings me to 85 cents. Now I have to add my 40 cents, which is the cost of the DVD player to use for a month. So I'm going to switch colors so that way I know which one is my dishwasher and which one's my DVD player. So we're going to use green to represent the 40 cents that the DVD player costs. And I'm going to start right where I left off with my 85 cents. 40 cents is going to equal 40 squares. So we're going to have to go over to our second hundreds grid here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So far I have 15 squares colored in. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Now I need 5 more. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So there I have my 40 squares colored in on top of my 85 squares colored in. Now to find the total, I'm going to use my grid and my model right here to add them all up. So 85 plus 40 squares is going to bring me to $1. So this equals 100 squares, which in this case we're doing money. So 100 squares, or 100 cents, would equal $1. So I have $1 and 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So $1.25 a month is my answer. So again, this whole hundreds grid right here equals 100 squares, or in this case, since we're doing money, $1. Then I go over to my second one, and that's where I added 25 more squares colored in, and I got $1.25. So $1.25 total a month to use the dishwasher and the DVD player. For today's practice, most of your squares will be, or hundreds grids will be filled out for you. They're just going to be there to show you a model for how to add and subtract. So let's go on to another example that we can do together. So how can you use number grids to subtract decimal? So here we have to subtract 1 57/100 minus 89/100. So our first step is to shade the grid, one whole grid, because that's 100 squares. So that would equal our 1 right there in the ones place. So one whole grid and then 57 squares to show 1 57/100. So we've got one grid colored in here, 57 colored over here. Step 2 now is to cross out our 89/100. So we have to cross out 8 columns to get to the 80, and then 9 other squares in the shaded grid. So you're crossing out 89 of those squares that you had already colored in. The difference in the squares that are shaded but are not, the difference is the squares that are shaded but that are not crossed out. So our answer then, we would find it by counting all of these squares here that do not have X's in them. So we could count by rows like we did before. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then I have 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. So 68/100 would be my answer. Let's do some more together. Oh, sorry, you guys are going to do these ones on your own. So here again, you have the models. So here's a subtraction problem. Here we have an addition problem, and I'm going to label them for you. So here we have number 1, and here we're going to have number 2. All right, I want you to go ahead and solve number 1 on your own. Submit your answer, and then, or type in your answer, and then click submit when you're ready. Okay, so looking at our question number 1, we have one grid filled out and then 33 squares filled out over here. So one grid equals our $1 in this case, and the 33 squares over here, 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, represents our 33 cents. So $1.33 is colored in red. We subtracted then our 35 cents. So we crossed off 35 of these squares. Now to find our difference, all we have to do is count the remaining squares that are not crossed off. So I'm going to start over here and I'm going to count by tens until I don't have any more full rows colored in. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. So we should have gotten 98 cents as our answer. And make sure that you have it written down like that, because the original problem has a dollar sign in there. So we are talking about money there. So make sure you include that dollar sign and that 0. So 98 cents was our answer. Go ahead and try number 2, where it's an addition problem. So just like the very first problem we did, we colored in, they colored in 1 11/100 in yellow and then 89/100 in blue. So go ahead and add these two together and let me know what you get. Click submit when you're ready. Okay, if you looked at this and you knew the answer right off the bat, that's great. So we see that one whole square over here is colored in yellow. So that equals 1. We look over here, when they added those 89 squares in blue, they ended up filling in this whole second square. So our answer is not even going to be a decimal. It's just going to be 2. All right. Nice job today, guys.